This session is on networking. Normally when you have networking sessions that you might have gone to in the past or you've heard about the concept of networking, usually what most people think of is they think about how am I taking advantage of someone else to further my career. Or if it's not quite that, it feels really superficial, really artificial, as something that is not mutually beneficial. Today we're going to talk about a very different approach to this idea of networking and also how it can feel really good for you to be part of networking and be really advantageous both for you professionally, personally, and also for the people that are part of your network. Networking at its core is just friendship. When you only care about knowing someone else because of the company they're at or because of what they've done in their career and you don't care about anything else, that's always going to feel really superficial. When you care about someone because of who they are and they happen to have great ways to be able to support you, then they usually want to do that if you're really a friend of theirs. So instead of viewing networking as this, what am I getting out of someone else, we need to think about networking as friendship, which a lot of us have been making friends for a very long time, so hopefully we're good at building friendship. Before we jump into how do we actually do that, let's talk about why networking is helpful for companies and for people. Within a company, they're spending a lot of money hiring people. They are losing a lot of money when they're not able to retain those people, and they also really struggle when they have to, fire, someone quits, for any reason people leave. So what a company wants is they want really good applicants that are easy for them to quickly hire, that stay. People, in many cases, want something similar. They want, something that's going to further their career. They want an opportunity that'll be different than what they had before. They want a place they're going to enjoy. And I think in many cases, people do like some degree of stability. This isn't 1950. It's not, I'm going to work somewhere for 50 years and then retire. But for someone that's, especially maybe a millennial, doing 5 years at a company is a long time, and that's really great. So people and companies, how do they figure out if that is going to be a good enough fit if they want to stay somewhere? If we're just going through a normal application process with a ton of resumes, it's really hard just looking at a resume to figure out if someone's a fit. And then on the flip side, for a person, it's really hard just looking at what a company has posted about their company and the job to figure out if it's going to be a fit. So it's really smart for both the company and for people that are interested potentially in working at a company to do is to utilize a network. At times this can feel really unfair. We can think about this idea of an old boys network or anything along those lines where people are getting a leg up because of who they know. But this is a good thing. Here's why. For a company, maybe 50% of why someone is going to stay and enjoy a job is because of the people, the culture, and the work that they're doing. So if I work at a company and I think that my friend John would be a really great fit at this company, and I go to my boss and I say, I know we have this role open. My friend John over here, this is why I think he'd be a great fit. I think he'd be wonderful. My boss, the company, is super excited because I have done a lot of the work for them that would be, really hard for them to know. I know this place. I know what it's like to work here. And if I say this person would be a good fit, they have the skills, they're going to get along, they're going to enjoy how we work. As a company, your eyes brighten up. You're really excited about that because that is likely to be right. My employee knows what it's like to be here. So from a company perspective, that's really, really advantageous to say, this person came through a network, this person came as a recommendation. This is something I'm going to look at really, really closely. So when we talk about maybe upwards of 80% of hires coming through a network, some of those might be nepotism, some of those might not be the most positive things in the world, but the vast majority are going to be really, really good hires. And companies like that, hence why they go to that a lot. Those people stay longer, those people are probably going to do a better job within their positions. It's a good hire for the company. For a person, we always want to know when we're applying to a company, what's the insider perspective like? What is it actually like to be at this company? To have a friend that works there that's going to tell you the kind of behind the scenes, what's it really like to be here, That's super, super crucial for you to ask around and say, this is what matters to me, this is what I'm looking for, and have your friends say, I really think you should look here, I think you should look there. That's really, really helpful for you. And then at a place that you really want to be at, for someone inside that's a friend of yours to say, I'm going to put your name forward for a recommendation, that gives you a leg up as well. So networking is really positive on both sides. It's going to help employers find people that are good fits, and it's going to help employees find the right places that they want to work. Networking as a whole, great idea, really poorly explained and executed at the moment. So let's talk about this idea of how we actually go about building that network. It's friendship. That's all it is. It's friendship. It's the willingness to ask for favors to people that would want to do those things for us. When we feel those bonds of friendship, I think of any friend who would approach me and ask me for help. If that's really my friend, I'm going to want to do that for them. And at the same time, I want to be able to repay those favors to my friends, and also ask for help when I need help. So when we think of networking, think of it as a group of friends who are willing to help each other because they care about each other. Normally in the business world, we keep things a lot more superficial than that, but I'm going to argue that that is the absolute best what networking is it's friends who want to help each other. So we talked about why networking makes sense for companies and for people. We've talked about the core of networking being friendship. Let's talk more about actually building those friendships. So I'm going to give you a couple scenarios of how this might happen. First, let's start and think about your current network. There's a lot in your current network of friends that you have from your school, from your hometown, connections you might have made in your current place that you're living through internships, through professors. You have a lot of people that probably already think highly of you and want to help you out in some way, shape, or form. Part of continuing to build that network is knowing what you're striving towards. We talked very earlier about you not wanting to just meet people and get something from them, but we do need a little bit of a big picture goal. What are you trying to accomplish here? And you might have a goal right now, but your network will continue to hopefully support you as you're going on. So let's say your goal is to get your first professional job coming out of school. There are a lot of ways you can think about getting some sort of network connections for that. So if it's a very specific industry, it should be really easy for you to go to your professors. It should be really easy for you to go to your professional organizations on campus and say, can you connect me to someone that's already doing this career? Like we mentioned earlier, that should be really, really ask for you to send that person an email, or have your professor or the professional organization send an email connecting the two of you saying, my name is so-and-so, I'm really interested in this career path, I've studied this for 3 years, can I buy you lunch and learn from you? That's a really easy way to set up some of those initial connections for your first job out of college. Ask your friends if they have older siblings, if they have friends of theirs who might already be doing that work. Look at all the companies that you might be interested in, even in the places. Ask your friends in those cities. There are so many things that you can do, and all it takes is for you to look at who are the current people I know and who could they potentially be introducing me to. This is where a tool like LinkedIn can be really useful. I think of LinkedIn as a professional Rolodex, which for anyone who has no idea what those are, Rolodex used to sit on your desk, and it was just a roll, and it was just contact information of people that you knew, and you would add someone new there and file it away. LinkedIn does the exact same thing for me, and that's how I use it. I don't share on LinkedIn, I don't write on LinkedIn, I don't use it for job postings, I don't find it useful for any of those things. But it's really, really good at finding a second connection. So if I know someone else, it's really good at finding their connection for me. So if I'm looking for someone that works at a specific company in a certain city, it's really easy to search for that and then just reach out to that friend, that mutual acquaintance, and say, hey, I'm interested in meeting this person for this reasons. Would you be willing to make an introduction for us? LinkedIn, really useful tool for that. That's where 90% of networking starts. A couple of years back, I had graduated from school for architecture, and I was really interested in potentially doing work in property development. I thought it made a lot of sense for me. I thought it made a lot of sense for the things that I was really interested in. And I reached out to multiple people and asked for connections kind of in that realm. I ended up having, over the course of a couple months, a lot of different coffees and lunches, and I ended up interning for 2 months with someone who had a young company that was very focused on property development. In those 2 months, I found out I hated property development. I had no interest in ever doing it. But it was very easy for me to very quickly learn that because I reached out. I said, this is what I'm really curious about. Do you have anyone you can introduce me to? We're in Pittsburgh, great city with a lot of connections because it is a small city. And it was very fast to be introduced to people that were doing big things at companies that are making big impacts here in Pittsburgh. I've also spent a lot of time intentionally making friends in a lot of different places. And it's becomes kind of a self-perpetuating thing when you're really willing and eager to meet new people. It's going to keep happening and you're going to keep building those friendships and relationships. But if we look at how does a network build over time, a lot of it comes down to you being the sort of person people want to be friends with. Which, if we want to go back to our earlier conversation, how do you make friends? Part of it is something like being really interested in other people. Part of it is having shared interests and being able to talk and discuss those shared interests. But a big part of friendship is being someone that people would actually want to be friends with. I'm not saying change your personality. I'm not saying change who you are, but I am saying that people that are willing to self-reflect and build and grow themselves and get better and better and better are going to do better in every facet of their life. The more you work on yourself, the better of a friend you can be to someone else, the more other people are going to want to help you and the better you're going to do professionally. So friendship is a lot of things, but a lot of being a great friend is growing and building yourself. Then reaching out and finding those connections and opportunities for yourself. And at the same time, seeing and doing whatever you can to help those people around you. Because people very quickly know if that friend favor is always one-sided, if you're always asking. I've been guilty of this at times where I have, asked a little bit too often and not done as much as I can to try to help those people around me as well. So you're in potentially a first meeting with someone. Come with your research done. Learn a lot about that person. Have a long list of questions, things that you're really interested in learning. Know about what they're trying to do, what they've done in their career. And be really interested in all those things. Learn as much as you can. Try to build an actual human connection there. Get to know them. Then when you're leaving that, always, always, always ask, who else should I meet if these are the things that I'm into? Who else can you introduce me to? That in and of itself should probably yield 2 to 3 connections every time you meet. So it grows and builds really quickly. All of these people that you can kind of count as part of your network, I'm going to call that your friend group. These friends. You can be all different ages, be doing all different sorts of things, but spending your time intentionally building that, intentionally building yourself is going to help your career a lot. People are going to think of you when their company has an opening that you'd be a good fit for. They are going to think of you when they hear about something that you'd be really interested in. They're going to think about you when they want to introduce that young college student to someone who they can learn a lot from. All these things are really beneficial. So networking is friendship. It's friendship not with an ulterior motive beyond that friendship, but friends want to help friends. We're going to be a little intentional with how we're starting out building those friendships. We're going to work on ourselves because the better you are, the more other people are going to want to be friends with you and help you out. You're going to think about what you can do to help those people around you. And through doing that, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing until you have this great, fantastic network of people that never stops growing, but always folks that want to see you successful. And I don't think any of us can ask for anything else than that. of people that we're close to caring about what's going on in our lives and wanting us to be successful. LinkedIn I mentioned really briefly in there. I think it's really just a tool. I don't think that it's something to spend a ton of time on. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward. On LinkedIn, I only have connections that I actually know, and I think that's important to me. So that is our session on networking and how to use a tool like LinkedIn successfully.